Okay, so the first question for law of supply 2.2 says, explain the law of supply using a market graph. So in this graph, I chose to do a lemonade stand where there's the price per cup on this side and then the cups for the quantity. And so the law of supply basically means that there's a direct relationship between price and quantity. So if price increases, quantity increases, and if price decreases, quantity decreases. So in this example of the lemonade stand, when the price increases, the kid running the lemonade stand is encouraged to make and sell more lemonade. And when the price is lower, the incentive to supply the customers decreases. So for the second question, what is the difference between a movement along the curve and a shift in supply explained through a graph? So when taking a look at these two graphs, you can see that the difference between moving along a curve means that there's no other lines being drawn, and it's just the movement along the supply curve, not like a whole new curve. So the price is the price of the good is what is changing, and that makes just a movement from A to B or B to A along the supply curve. But moving like a supply shift where the line actually shifts left or right, so a shift in supply occurs when something like a non-price factor, like production costs or the number of suppliers or something like technology changes, that will change, and that leads to a new supply curve. So when supply increases, it goes to the right, and when supply decreases, there's a shift to the left. And so you notice that prices don't change, but there's just more or less lemonade. If we're still using the lemonade stand example, there's just more or less lemonade that's produced. Back to this graph, it would just be going from selling your lemonade for $1 to selling it for $2. You're just changing the price of the lemonade. Since the last part covered what an increase in supply looks like versus a decrease in supply, can move on to the fourth question of 2.2. Using a real-life market, explain what the determinants of supply by using example graphs for each determinant. Be sure to indicate what the shift is and what happens to price and quantity. So for the first one, we're doing the prices / availability of inputs, which are just your resources. And for an example, going back to the lemonade stand, this would be if the price of lemons or sugar increases, the cost of making lemonade rises, so supply is going to shift leftward because less lemonade is supplied at the same price, and the quantity and result of that is going to decrease because fewer cups of lemonade are sold. Moving on to number of sellers, this would be an example of this would be if there were more kids that set up lemonade stands in the neighborhood, and giving our kids some competition, the overall supply of lemonade will increase because you have more people making more lemonade. So the new supply curve will be a shift to the right because there's an increase in the number of sellers, and the price is going to decrease in result of that because more competition lowers prices, and quantity is going to increase because there's more lemonade available, like I said before. Moving on to the third determinant of supply is technology. And for this one, this would be kind of an example. Could be like if the kid got some sort of juicer that made it easier to squeeze the lemons and faster, and that would like their production efficiency would improve. So for the graph, it would be the supply would be shifted to the right because of the technological improvements, and price would decrease because it'll lower their production costs, and quantity is going to increase because more lemonade is going to be produced as a result. Moving to government action, taxes, and subsidies. This could be like if the government decided to impose a small tax on lemonade sales, the cost of selling lemonade would increase, and it would shift to the left due to the tax because price would increase because of the higher costs, and quantity would decrease because less lemonade would be supplied. But in an opposite light, if the government offers a subsidy for selling lemonade, like giving the sellers free lemons, the supply could increase of the lemonade, and the supply curve would shift to the right, and then the price would decrease and quantity would increase because more lemonade is produced. The last determinant of supply is expectations of future profit. So, for example, if our lemonade stand kid expected hot weather like the next week, which would like usually increase lemonade sales, they might reduce their supply right now to sell more later, so supply would decrease right now and go to the left because of the expectations of higher future sales next week, and price would increase because there's less lemonade available now, and quantity is going to decrease because they're not making as much.